So under SRC, I'm going to create a new package for file handling. Under that, so first one will do file input stream demo. Okay, file input stream demo class. So because this file input stream and all are predefined classes, you should not give same class name. So file input stream, what it will do, it will read the data from the file. So that means you should have a data in the file, right? So store data, okay, store data. So in the files, suppose any file you create. So I'm going to keep Java programs. Here one file, you take any one file. That files, maybe this is having a data. So this data I want to read. How can you read? Okay. So this is the input file data is there, that how you can read. Okay. So first of all, you have to define what are all the steps you want. First, you have to create a file object. Second step, declare a file location. Then that file location, you pass it to file class object. And let's write this one by one. So I'll declare global object reference. How to declare global object reference? Let's see this private static file F. Object I'm declaring. So import file class. Private static file input stream space equal to null. Then, so declare the file location. Private static string sorry. So input file path. So input file path and give the file location. So which file that is? So this location you have to give. So what is the location of the file? Just copy this file location. And the file name also. Which file? So you have to tell TXT file, Excel file, or doc file from where you are reading. That you have to specify here. And now, so in the code, so you have to write first step, pass this object reference. That's a file object creation, right? File object creation. Create a file object. So F equal to, you have to assign the value for F. You should not write again file F. Already you declared file F. The left part already declared, but it is assigned currently null. Now I need to change that null to the memory address. New file. F equal to new file. And you have to pass this file path. So that's it. So you're just representing the file. So if you want to read, you need to create object for. So FAS object, again, file input stream object, you have to assign to FAS object reference. Create file input stream object. FAS equal to new file input stream and pass F. So I'm passing the file object. And so once you create object for the file input stream. So now from this object, you have to read. So this will read 1 by 1 byte. So 1 by 1 byte means, so this file has so many characters, right? 1 by 1 byte means you have to use a loop until the last step, last line where there is no data. So that you have to replicate. So the byte means we can represent with I. So then while loop syntax, I'm writing while. So I is equal to FAS dot read method. So you have to tell a condition. So what is the condition? You have to tell not equal to -1 until that is not equal to -1. Until that is not equal to -1 means what? The last line is the byte value is not -1. So until that you read 1 by 1. So in this file object, file input stream object, it will read method will read 1 by 1, and that read byte data is not equal to -1. If it is a true, comes inside, and if you want to print it. So what is this? So you can surround with a try catch block or throws declaration. Okay. So whichever you want. So I'm going to surround with a try catch block. So try catch block. We can use it, not an issue. And here, so character C equal to I. So I'm converting a byte into character. So what is the, so error here, type mismatch. So add cast to character. So now you got the character. And if you want 1 by 1 character, you have to use print method, not println. So C, print the C. That's it. And if you want to add finally block also, you can add. So I told you already, try catch finally block, right? Try catch finally block. FAS dot close method. To close the connections, you will use that. So IO exception. See, entire exception handling is coming again here. Throws followed by exception class. Try catch finally blocks. So see, we are reading from this file and printing that. You can use the data, this data wherever you want. That is this file input stream demo. See, this is the data, right? It was there in the file. So all the data, we read it. So this is the one of the way how to read. First step, second step, and this is the logic, main logic. Any questions? Okay, move on. No questions. I'll take it. No questions. And I'll copy this. I'll create a buffered input stream demo. Okay. So buffered input stream demo. So click on this. So everything is same. Only you need to add buffered input stream class reference globally. Globally or locally also fine, but I'm just adding buffered input stream. Yes. So just create object for the BAS. New buffered input stream FAS. So FAS object, you have to pass it to buffered input stream object. Basically, you should not create directly buffered input stream object without file input stream object reference. So it's a sequence. You see that first file object, that reference you pass it to as an argument for the file input stream. File input stream object reference you pass it to buffered input stream. The sequence should be same. So you cannot create alone buffered input stream without file input stream. Now the data is here. You have to read from BAS, not from FAS. That's what is the difference between previous and this one. This will improve the reading capability more. So it has a more faster than file input stream. See, this is very, very faster. But so when there is a more data, then you can see that difference. File input stream is 1 by 1 byte it will read, but buffered input stream will read more data. So more large chunk of data it will read. So any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so next one is so buffered file input stream is done. File reader. Let's go to the file reader. Can just change. Okay, just I'll copy. Just copy this, and I'll change that. The code is the fixed code. Only classes will change. Buffered reader. Okay, I'll put buffered reader. So this buffered reader demo. So what it does, first you have to create a file reader object. And then you have to read buffer reader object. So file reader object you create. So FR, I'm just going to change it to FR. So then buffered reader. So BR, just put BR. File reader object. That's it. Now we change here. FR, right? This reference is FR. And this reference is BR. And here it's going to be FR. So here you need to change file reader. So buffered reader. So now BR, now this is the, what this will do, this file reader will read the character data, right? File reader will read the character data. So if you use file reader alone, one by one character, but we are using a buffer reader. So it will read large chunk of string S equal to, it should not be 0, right? What is that? Null. So variable you have to, string object you have to declare null, initial value. So now we will read that from BR. So BR will read line method you have to use, not read method. Read line method you have to use. And but here you have to declare until not null. So not null. So here you don't need this, okay? You're getting an entire line directly. Just put yes here. So that is. So you can use br.close that thing. See, the closing the streams, these are all called streaming, data streaming, right? That's why you're closing the streams in the finally block. Just run this code. It's very, very fast. It is going to read. See, now we changed the read line method because one by one, the collection of characters it will read from here. So that means entire line will read. So that's the main objective here. You can say println now. So that line, first line it will take, then it will go to next line. So this is the same reading, all the reading process we are doing. Either you can use a file input stream, buffered input stream, or a file reader, buffer reader for reading purpose. So that's all about this two concepts, how to read the data from the file. Now let's write how to write the data to the files, okay? How to write the data. So we'll see, we can write the data. We'll read first from the file, input file, that we'll write it to another file. So how to do that? So let's take for reading, you know already, right? This one you're using reading. And I'll copy this. Reading process is same, okay? So I'll just change file output stream. File output stream demo. So file output stream demo. So first, so you have to change a little bit here. So this is the reading file, okay? But where to write? So writing file location also you give it. So output file path. Output file path. So output file path. So this is not there, right? This file is not there. We'll delete if it is there already, okay? So we'll delete if it is there already, we'll delete. So we don't want this one. I'll delete it. So all these files will delete it. Okay. Okay. So this is the file. This file doesn't exist now, right? This file is not there here. So we need to create the file. So first I'll pass which file you want to create. One more file object you have to create. So create object reference per file, output file, per output file. So file out file object equal to new file. So this file you have to pass output file path. But this file doesn't exist, right? The input file is there, we created, but this file is not there. If not there, you have to create it. So how to create a new file? So you check the condition first. If file doesn't exist, so file doesn't exist, this file doesn't exist, exist method is there. So doesn't exist. So file doesn't exist. Then you can create the file. Create new file. So if it is already present, it won't create. If it is not present, then it will create. So this is the simple code to create a new file. Is it clear? This one is for reading. So, and I'm reading. Now I need to create object for writing purpose, right? So to write the data to output file, create object for file output stream. So FOS equal to, maybe I can declare that object reference globally. Not locally also fine. So not necessary you have to declare globally. I'm just showing you object you can create globally also. Okay, that's the main objective. So import that FOS equal to new file output stream object. Then you need to pass which object reference? This one, output file, because you are so writing to output file. So that object reference you have to pass. So this object reference is for reading purpose. This object reference is for writing purpose. So now I'm reading. Now I need to write it. So I'm going to write. So write the data to the file. You read the data. Now you write it. So for writing FOS object you have to use, write method you use. So you can directly write integer. No need of conversion again. But to print, I am using this. Otherwise, you don't need this. Reading from this file, writing to this file. So that's the main concept. You can just FOS dot close. So this both the objects I am closing. So now execute this. Done. Reading is done. So let's go and see the file is created or not. See, just now. So 628 file is created. See, same data is there. It is written the same data. So that's the file creation and writing to that file. This file data, you're writing to this file. So which method we used? Write method. So write method we used and file output stream object we created. So any questions here? Same way buffered, no? So you can write buffered input stream, buffered output stream also similar. Just add a buffering concept. So just add the buffering concept. Just copy this. So paste buffered output stream. So you have to add buffering concepts basically. Here also two object references we need. One is file input stream, buffered input stream. Second one is buffered
Output stream.
word output stream. That's it. So here change this, okay? BAS. And this one you change it to BOS. So import these two classes from java.io package. Java.io package. So maybe I'll change this to this time instead of output, I'll put a doc, txt instead of txt, I'm putting a doc or docx, whatever you want, what kind of data you want. So this will create a doc file and then create object here. So BAS equal to new buffered input stream, FAS. So now here BOS equal to new buffered output stream, FOS. So you have to read from BAS and write to the BOS. But make sure when you use a BOS, it's a continuous stream, right? You have to flush it every stream. So to do a flushing, so you have to use flush method. Flush method you have to use. Flush method you have to use.
So it will be used for every chunk of data after.
Yeah, it will flush out, it will write and then flush out to new data. So flush out. So you flush the data. And I'm going to flush out. This flush is over. Now you run this. Where we written buffered output stream, right? This is the location. So done. See it read and you go and see the files that created doc file. Oh, where we modified that? Here only we modified. We modified, right? It didn't create. Something mistake we did. Here we modified. Here. This one only we are modifying. Good. Somewhere we made a mistake. Oh, we did change here only. Okay. Actually, we would have done other place. Okay, so I'll just change this to buffered Preferred output stream demo 2. This one I'll change it to so txt. Okay. This one I'll rename it to file output stream. File output stream. Okay, so now perfect, right? So now we're good. So here we added. So so now go and see that. See, doc file is there. Doc file is there. Okay. So are you clear? So file input stream object, buffered input stream object, file output stream, buffered output stream. Here we are using flush method. For reading the data, flush we have to use. Flushing out the data. Okay. Any questions here?
Sir, can you explain once what did you change here?
No, so I declared a output file path, that is a doc file we created. Okay.
Okay.
Or you can create a text file also, anything. Okay.
You can change a reader type also, text to doc.
Reader, I'll show you now. File reader. So this is the input stream and output stream.
Okay.
But we are adding the buffering for that. For the input also buffering, output also buffering.
Buffering.
Okay.
Yes.
And first creating the file, output file, if file is not there. So this is the condition. This is the very important. This condition you have to write.
Okay.
For example, if you don't put this condition, what will happen? It will throw error for you.
Okay.
So now, and from this you read and write to this object. So that's the, I'm doing write to this object and flush that stream. So it will get a large chunk of data, right?
Yes.
That you flush it. Now new data will write. Again, the loop will go to getting the second line, second data, right?
Okay.
That large chunk of data will get, again, write the second data and flush it out. So next, and keep rotating that. So that's the logic we built from this file.
We can take JPG file also, sir.
JPG file you cannot read, right?
Okay.
So where data should be there to read, then write that data.
Okay.
The file should have a data that should be readable.
Okay, sir.
So something you are reading and writing. How to do that? That is these classes you have to use. Next, let me show you file writer class. We have a file writer class, right? So let's take the file writer class demo. File buffered writer I'll take directly. Buffer writer class demo. So buffer writer, what it will do, it will read the large chunk of data at a time. So basically create private static file writer fw equal to null. So here the data overriding appending is there. Buffer writer buffer. So this is the data. And private static string. So I need to write to the file. So I have data in my program. That data I need to do. Previous programs, what we did, we read from the file. That data you write to another file. Now here I have data in my program. Maybe I'll enter something from the keyboard. That data I need to write to the file. How to do that? So first, you know how to enter the data while running the program, right? During runtime. Do you know or no?
Scanner, using scanner
Yeah, scanner class,
class.
we have to use it.
Okay.
Let's take one of the file. I'm just giving the another file I'm going to create. Okay, another file I'm going to create. But here also I need a file object. So you can directly create here also file object. File f equal to new file. So just pass this output file path. If file doesn't exist, and you have to create the new file. Create new file. You have to create a new file. See, this is throwing a declaration. It is asking, see, compile time itself asking. That's a compile time exception. It will be declared. You can declare. So add throws declaration. So this is the one. So you are declaring the exception, IO exception. IO exception is a compile time exception. That is a checked exception. So now we created a file, but you have to get the data from keyboard, right? So to get the data, keyboard. So you have to use a scanner class object, new scanner, and
System.in.
system.in you have to use. So then you write this out, enter the data from keyboard. Okay. So what data you want to write? That data you enter it. So that way you need to store in some variable, right? So sc dot next method or next line method you have to use. So we have to both will read the data, right? So you can use next method, you can use, or next line method you can use. It's up to you what data you want to write it. So that data will store here. Now this data I want to write here. So create object for FW, new file input stream. New file input stream. So that is, you have to pass F object. Pass F object. So maybe you can put a change type of operator. Oh, sorry, file writer, right? See, one parameterized constructor, this one. Then BW equal to new buffered writer. So pass FW object reference. So now you created object, you created the file, then you can write a logic. So what is the main logic you have to develop? BW dot write. So write the data str. then flush. So you flush that. So now let's go and run this program. So you need to enter the data, and that entered data should write you to the file. So let's see, it is asking, and running time. So this is the indication. Enter the data from keyboard. Enter the data, what data you want to write. So I'll just write, so learning, yeah, file streams. So press enter key. So you go and see that this data has written to the file R. See, this is the file just now created. No data. See, I only one it has written. So why only one? So I tell you that. The reason is, so you have to use
Buffer.
next line, complete line. So that, so let's run this. So now it has written. So that's a difference between file inputs, this method, next method, and next line method. It will read and it will go to next line, and that will store here, and that entire thing you are writing. And also, see, every time it is overwriting. Did you observe that? Previous data was not there. So now you see it, if you open that file, see, old data gone. It's only new data is there. Only new data is there. So that new, wherever writing, but why it is overwriting? How can you append? How can you append? So this will overwrite. Full data. But how to append? To append the data, same file writer only. So here only need to control to append the data. To append the data, use two parameterized file writer object. So what is that two parameterized? True. Just true, you add one more parameter. Here, single parameter. Here, two parameterized constructor. Two parameterized constructor we are using. So now it will append the data every time. So you write, just go and run this, and you'll see this first will write the one data. Second time also will write another data. So data one for first line, press enter key. So that is done. Now go and see. See here it is data for first line, but old data is also there, but it's not in the going to second line. So how to move that? That we need to adjust here code. So here, so after this or before this, you will just write, so bw dot new line. So it will go to new line. second line data, writing process. You can see that. Reload it. It's not going to the second line. Just a minute. Well, on the top. First, I'll move. Generally, it should go here. And after writing, it should go. Maybe next iteration, it will go if you keep this. Yeah, keep it, and it will go to next line, next iteration. So write that. Data. So now if you open this, see, it went to the next line. So now onwards, it will move on to the next line, next line. So run one more time. See, it will go to every line. So the previous data also retained. So that only one concept is this is the one. This is the one. Very important. So you need to catch here what this line is doing, what this line is doing. Are you clear on this? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
okay. That's it. All the files related code. And last one program I want to tell you how to list out all the files. So in a particular given directory. So how to list out all the files. So let me take quickly from here, list all the files. So I'll just show you here, okay? So we're writing one method, okay? Simple method we are writing. What is this? Create object for a file class, list all the files or subdirectories. So what this method will do, let me write. So this method will list out all the directories, subdirectories, and files. Subdirectories and files. So this is this method. So what this file object you create, and then file object dot list files. This method will list all the files and stores in this array. So in this array. So then iterate all the files and folders for bracket file f1 equal to, so f1 colon this f list. So then if I'm putting a condition here. So if f1 dot get name dot ends with dot xlsx, then only print that file. Okay. So it will print that file only. It will print that file only. Okay. So then I'm giving the directory, which directory files you want to print. If you don't put this condition, all files will list out. Okay. So see that I'll just copy this and put it outside but to show you demo. So this will, the condition I'll remove. So remove the condition and run it. So what will happen in this directory? What are all the files are there that will print? So each file, I'm getting the name. So there are a lot of methods in this file class. So you can use all the files. So free space, how much free space? So you can give a so directories, subdirectories also you can create. A lot of methods are there in this file class. So you with this object reference, you can call all of them. So let's execute this. See, you have a lot of files, txt file, this one, and this is the one subfolder, another subfolder, and XLSX files, step 1, step 2. These are the subfolders. So under this folder. So now I want a particular only XLSX files I want. So now this one you can comment and see. Now I am filtering. If this file ends with .xlsx, only that file. So see, you got only XLX file. Before you got a lot of things, right? You're filtering. Filtering is done. Loop inside filter. If you want to do, use if condition. Write the if condition. So that's all about this. How we can filter and list out files in particular directory. Any questions? So that's all about files concept. And again, so tomorrow we have a class, right? Tomorrow is evening, today evening. So today evening also we have for US people and India people, for you in the morning. Okay. So there we'll start strings how to handle. String programs we are going to handle. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions? If no questions, you can drop.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.